and welcome to the first ever Magic Animal Club podcast!
Yeah! Woohoo! Yeah! How you doing, Stamps? You good?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. This is something that we have been talking about doing for literally years, and now we are.
Yeah. Well, we did do it a few years ago, but it didn't really take off. We did do it. It was
it's
your
something
podcast.
that we've been talking about and doing for years. So if you don't know, we did used to have a podcast. Well, it was called Stampy's Lovely Podcast, but then most episodes Squid and I did together, and they were pretty awful. There were funny moments, but that was it was of years gone by. I feel like it was an alternate version of us that made that podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we were a lot younger, and I don't know, I think it was still good at the time. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know, now it's a lot more, we've been through a lot. Oh, we've been through so much.
You make it sound like we've gone to war or something. We've been through so much since then. So basically, let's explain what this podcast is, because you're probably a little bit confused. So if you're watching this on YouTube, and you probably are, you're watching some Minecraft gameplay. Okay, so that is us playing live now, but we're not. This isn't a Let's Play. We're not going to talk about the gameplay, at all. Okay, so we're just... Because the way we came up with the idea to do this podcast really was from my Quest series. And a lot of the time, me and Squid would just be chatting and kind of just playing Minecraft and just kind of jumping around and not doing much. And we had loads of really funny conversations. We were like, we should kind of have these conversations in a podcast. So there is gameplay happening, but that's really not the focus. So feel free to minimize the window if you want, or kind of just have it on in the background and look up every now and then, because we're not going to be doing much exciting probably just cutting down trees for an hour probably.
So yeah, if you're on the train, and I think you can do it on YouTube now, where you can literally be listening to a video and you can lock your phone, but you can still keep the audio. So
I think at the moment,
yeah,
you can only do that with YouTube Red, I think.
Ah, that's why it's a paid service. Nah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the benefits of YouTube Red, and the chances, if you're listening to this, you don't have YouTube Red. So, I don't think you can do that.
You're going to waste a lot of battery. Just
it's worth it though.
Yeah, it's worth
and every now and then you can catch in. So at the moment we're doing Minecraft, so I thought it'd be cool to do a consistent podcast world, which we go back in, but we don't always have to do Minecraft. We might just play a different game, any game that we don't need to think much about. It could be, I don't know, we could play a few rounds of Plants vs Zombies or whatever games we kind of fancy playing. It won't be Minecraft every week. We'll kind of play whatever we fancy playing, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be quite good. We could do something different. Let's do that. I'd like that, Stamps, instead of Minecraft.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Well, let's explain a little bit more about what the podcast is going to be then. So when I was thinking about it, I was like, right, let's plan the podcast. I was like, let's plan the segments, what's going to be, what features are going to be in the podcast. And then what I thought would be better is we just naturally develop them over time. So we'll start chatting. Eventually we'll realize each week, we always do a
just
thing.
Pretty much the same thing.
Well, yeah, I think we're going to naturally come up with what we're going to talk about and what we want to do. And then I think eventually it's going to become a more proper podcast where we go this week we're going to talk about the new releases, or this week, I feel eventually we're going to come up with ideas during the podcast. Maybe we're always going to end by reading some emails that people have sent in, or maybe we're gonna always start off the episodes by talking about what we've done that week. I think that eventually we're gonna start coming up with stuff, but I thought, why not force it? Why not just start chatting and see what happens from there?
Yeah, that sounds really good. So, Stamps, the first question.
Yes.
It's not really a Q&A now, but I really am intrigued.
Question 1.
Has your crest come?
Okay. I think we might need to explain, because if people haven't been watching my Quest series, that would be a very weird question.
Yeah, so yesterday while we're filming it, I want to say Crest now. Yesterday in Quest, we got onto the topic about Crest. And we were just joking around because Stampy mispronounced the word quest into crest, wasn't it? That was the whole reason why it got started. And then we went on, we started joking about you should make a YouTube channel and you should live stream it. And then Stampy took it literal and that's what he's doing. He's making a YouTube channel about cress, and he's gonna try and make the whole thing successful at your stamps. It's gonna be your new hobby now, the whole cress thing.
I am. So I've made the channel. The channel has been created. It's not youtube.com/Let's Cress because it doesn't let you make a URL until you've had like a channel for a week. So I've made it though. That I've ordered the cress. So I've ordered a lot of cress-related things.
Cress-related products.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things I've ordered is a cress llama. Which is it's
a real llama.
It's like
they just covered it in cress. That's literally all it is.
It's just called. It's a real llama called cress. I'm not. I'm not being strict by by what I count as being a cress thing. So it's like a little model llama, and you put water on it, I think, and then cress like grows on it.
Nice.
And then there's like a mushroom I got, and then I got like these little like tiny plant, like little mini tiny little cute mini plant pots. And then I ordered some cotton wool because you can grow cress from cotton wool, which is amazing. And so I'm going to be doing. What is this stuff here? Sandstone. Oh yeah, so I'm going to be doing cress plays. No, Let's Cress they're going to be.
Let's Cress.
I'm going to be doing maybe some time lapses. I'm going to be giving cress tips, talking about how to get the best cress and all sorts of things along those lines. So yeah, this is a good time to advertise. Look up Stampy Let's Cress on YouTube for plenty of cress related content coming soon.
I hope you're gonna go all out and, like we said, get some t-shirts, get some hoodies, just get like an apron.
Fill them full of cress.
Yeah, you need to have like a room in your house where you can dedicate it to cress. Like,
I got a windowsill. So I'm going to have it the windowsill like kind of next to where I record. I'm going to have it there so I can continually monitor the cress. I never want the cress to be out of my sight.
No.
So I'm going to have the cress just like always just next to me. I mean, so I can always just go in.
Cress farmers always say once you let cress out of your sight, that's when they don't cress no more. They just die.
That's when the world will end.
Exactly.
That's what they say. if you let the thing is cress can spread and multiply.
Yeah.
You see,
and that's why they have to contain it with cotton wool. They have to literally just stick it in like cotton wool. Otherwise, it can grow on people, and then you end up with very hairy cress people. Even though cress isn't hairy, it's the thing.
the best defense is of course cotton wool for protecting anything.
Exactly. That's why they use it in bulletproof vests. In the army.
What I thought would be funny is I want to order like a really big plant pot because you never see cress, yeah? You always get a bunch of it. You never see like one piece of cress growing. So I thought it'd be fun to get a big plant pot and just put like one bit of cress just growing in the middle. Like, this is my plant. Like, when I go on holiday, make sure you feed it. I just thought that would be fun. Well, water it, not feed it.
Are you going to do like
a bacon sandwich every morning?
Cress tasting?
See the eating side of cress is I think what appeals to me less. Less cress tasting, I say. Like I feel like it's fun. Like any plant that you can just grow and then just like pick it and eat it is fun because you can pretend to be like a proper animal, just eating wild things as they grow. So that is a fun idea, but it's really the growing that's where I want my area of expertise to be is the growing of the cress.
Yeah?
Really.
You're not gonna eat your produce. You're not gonna test it.
Well, I think I will if it's
have a nice
there.
cress sandwich.
There's sometimes when you just need a snack. And you look around and you're looking in the fridge in the cupboard and there's just nothing there, and you get desperate and you start eating things that you would normally eat.
Wander to the windowsill and lo and behold, there's a shiny piece of cress glistening in the sun.
There's a ray of sunlight glistening off the heads of the cress.
You start getting like a cow jaw. You start grinding your teeth.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's weekly Cress podcast and our conversation about. Okay, let's change the topic. Let's talk. I feel like this is like a good chance to talk about things that like have never been explained before,
like gravity.
Gravity. I think that's been explained. I think.
Sure?
I don't think
it has.
I don't think we're the ones.
No?
I don't think science is going to be our expertise. So I'm always scared about like things like science. I'm too scared to talk about because
you don't know
I know
about
everyone. Well, no, it's like, I feel like I know a decent amount, but the thing is, people love correcting you. So at first, they're like, if I did something wrong in a video or said something wrong, and then I look in the comments and everyone's correcting me, I'd be like, oh no, that's awful. Like, oh, it's so annoying. Like, I wish I did it right. But then I realized that they enjoy correcting you.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it's a good thing for them. Like, you know, like, they might got a little bit frustrated at first if you got it wrong, but they love saying, actually, Stampy, I think you'll find it's like this. You know, they enjoy that. So now,
they live for
I love just giving people opportunities. Like, I might just, you know, while playing Minecraft, I might always cut down trees with a pickaxe. Just to let people point out to me that I shouldn't use a pickaxe.
I mean, the comment sections are, I don't know, they're very dangerous because you can get so many trolls, can't you? Like, you think you'd be doing all right in a video, and then you look at the comments the next day, and it's like, Squid, you should have done this, you should have done that, what are you doing? And it's like, whoa. Because that's never, like, it never happens in any other job. Like, well, apart from, like, your boss, but, you know, you never really get that many people saying, you should have done it like this, you should have done it like that. You know what I mean? Like, it never happened in, like, I don't know, like, if you're, like, an electrician, you get one guy complaining about his light bulb, like, oh, it stopped working in the middle of the night. You never get, like, a row of people, like, lining up saying, you've done it wrong. It's like throwing eggs at your head and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a very, like, different.
It's a very unnatural thing. Like, it's, if you think about humans, okay, and the way we used to be, you know, living in caves or whatever, you know, the way we evolved.
Cress.
You eating cress, exactly. So going full circle here. Yeah, so think of what or even like, you know, you think to when we were living in like small like mud huts and stuff, and the way society was back then. Like, it's very unnatural to have like the comment section. It's such a weird way to talk to people. Like, one person making a video of several people talking to loads of people, and then them all like shouting back and like, and people not knowing who each other are. So people like not caring, because like everyone in like normal life is so caring about what people think of them. They don't want to look silly, they don't want to be stupid, like they want to conform to the way that you should be. And the reason for that is because back in cavemen time, if you were kind of seen as an outsider or different and you like leave the tribe, you know, you'd have a less chance to survive. So that's why everyone naturally doesn't like wants to fit in. But in comment sections, because no one knows who each other are, like that doesn't apply. Like people just say whatever they want. It's like a leash has been like unclipped from them, and then they can just go wild and literally say whatever they want, and it's so unnatural. And I think that's why it's so weird, the things that people to like comment.
A gaming event, okay, and you did like a live let's play on stage, people, you know, they'd be like, oh, I enjoyed that, and you know, they'd say stuff to themselves. You never get people shouting out like, oh, that was rubbish. You never get hecklers. It's just on YouTube. People just seem to not care.
Like,
it's just
like thumbs down, dislike, dislike, don't like this, dislike. It's weird.
So
and I think that as well, for like when you've been like, once you're a certain size of YouTuber, and I mean that in terms of like the amount of people watching, not how many cakes you've been eating. Like once you're like a certain size and there's a certain amount of people watching, I think people think of you less as a human. Like people think of you as like an entity, you know, like not like you would message something different to like, I don't know, think of like the biggest channel, you know, think of like PewDiePie or whatever. Like, I think people think of him less as a person and more of like an entity now. So people will comment things that like they wouldn't otherwise, or you know, or like they'll tweet you things that like, or they'll tweet like not even necessarily to you, but about you, but at you. Like I'd see like a tweet from like a parent saying like, oh, like, you know, little Billy has started watching Stampy, isn't it awful, or something, and like at me in it. I'm like, hello there, like, I'm here, I'm in the room, basically.
Oh man, YouTube is crazy. It's so crazy. But as you say, like people would never say it in real life, and if they did, then you just never speak to them again. They wouldn't be classed as friends. They'd just be like, you know, you're not very nice. I'm not going to speak to you anymore. Oh,
well, do you think, like, I mean, we're talking about YouTube here, but this is really the same for Facebook, Vine, you know, whatever you're on. But, like, do you think it'd be better if, like, on the internet, like, you signed into, like, a thing and it was like, we got logins for everything. I've got like a notebook with like 1 million like passwords. Yeah. Would it be better if you signed into a thing and that was like, and it was like an official number? It was like your passport number. You signed in, and everyone knows who you are. So anything you message, there's a little real picture of you in the corner, and everyone knows exactly who is the one commenting. Do you think that would make the internet like better or worse?
I think that it'd make it better if everyone was like, if everyone could see everyone in person, they'd be a lot less inclined to say what they really thought. I think the thing is that protection where you're behind a screen, they can't see you, you can't see them live, and it's not the same sort of thing. I think if it was like face to face, if you had that type of interaction, people would be less likely to say what they actually really think, if you know what I mean. So I reckon it'd be a good thing because it'd stop people saying stuff. I don't know.
But is it the kind of thing where like you think it would be a good thing if everyone else was like that, but would you want that for you? Like
no,
every like time
really.
you're messaging,
I mean,
like that's.
I mean,
this could never
good.
happen.
I mean, that'd be kind of like someone's solution from someone who's never used the internet before. They'd be like, I could solve this problem. You could do this, but really, like. Yeah, it'd solve it, but it wouldn't be what people want. Like, they wouldn't want that. People like the fact that they can hide behind the PCs and they can be private and stuff like that. That's the whole, this is the good thing about the internet. They can be someone else. I mean, it's kind of like that with games as well, if we're going to go further into it. That's why people play games. It's a way to escape. Like now we're playing Minecraft. And, if we focused enough, if we wasn't talking about other things, we could really get indulged into Minecraft. And I reckon, that's what video games are to a lot of people. That's the whole escape thing. And I reckon the internet's like that as well. It's all, you can escape kind of thing. Yeah.
But then, so if video games are like an escape, okay. So I always think that's a very romantic way to look at video games.
Romantic.
Well, I don't. Oh, video games. That's a very romantic. Like that's like a very. I guess glorified way to like that sounds nice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, but lots of video games, the majority of video games, and I know I said I wasn't going to mention gameplay, but I'm going to talk about what happened to explain. I just killed a pig, okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching the video side of this. So, and it kind of goes to my point that most video games are like violent and like they're often like not horrible, but like they're not like if video games are kind of this escape, you think that people would be making video games where it's like jump across the clouds, the video game, like no worries, happy, escape, beautiful, bright, colorful. But there's not many games that are like that. Most of them are more involved and you have to think. You're either solving puzzles or you're like shooting something or fighting something. Like if games are an escape, why are so many games like that then?
I think it comes down to, it's what pleases humans. And I'm not saying that killing pigs pleases humans. I'm saying in life you have so many rules where it's don't do this, don't do that, don't run over Billy with your car on the high street or whatever like that. And a lot of...
I think fair enough with that rule.
A lot of things are like...
Yeah, you moaning. We can't even... Political correctness gone mad. I can't even run him over.
You know what I mean? You can't really do a lot of them things. And there's a good reason why, but I'm saying like...
Good, yeah.
Hooray! It's a bad example, but I reckon it's because you get told no so much in society where like in video games you can literally do whatever you want, whether that being slaying a dragon or, taming a dinosaur or just killing a pig in Minecraft. There's so many, what tickles your fancy, Stamps? If there's a crest simulator out there, you'd be right on it,
Oh, I would be first in line.
Yeah.
Crest Simulator 2016. Oh, well, imagine what would you do in that? I guess just
watch
grow
cress.
Watch cress grow.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about this crest thing. Sorry to... It always comes back to crest at the end of the day, but...
I think it's because it's so new. I reckon by next week it'll be either old news or we'll even be more excited
I don't know
it.
however long-term hobby this is going to be, because it started as a joke. I mean, it still is a joke. I'm not starting a new career path. But
well, yesterday...
It started as like...
When we spoke about it, I came downstairs and I told Nicole, And she looked at me. And then Tom came downstairs. And I told Tom. And he looked at me. And both of the reactions were just kind of like, okay. I don't think they really understood the whole crest thing. And I said to myself, well, he's just doing it as a joke. And then I kind of thought, well, is he? Or is he actually really serious about it? So I kind of left yesterday's recording thinking, do I really know Stamps anymore? I mean, who is this man? He's, love of video games.
Who is this Cressy man?
love of Cress lover. Oh, man.
Well, the problem was, as I tweeted saying, like...
Yeah, you've got everybody's thoughts
like,
up now.
I was saying, like, I'm starting a new venture. Like, I've started, like, a new YouTube channel for, like...
Your hobby.
For, like, a secret hobby that
People were like, skydiving. And
everyone was
like,
getting so excited. I had, like, people messaging me that I haven't spoke to in months. Like, oh, what is this new project you're doing? Getting excited. Like, all of these people are like, oh, I'm sure it's going to be amazing, whatever it is. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how funny they're going to... I don't know if they're going to find it as funny as I do. That's the problem. And that's something I want to talk about. Okay. Because that is something that, like, this is something that I think about a lot. So, sense of humor. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, there's things that we might do as a joke. And just by the amount of people that are sometimes watching us, obviously this is a new podcast, there probably won't be so many here, but like, just because of the amount of people that are normally watching us, like, if we say a joke, for a good percentage of them, they won't either get it or won't find it funny, and it will fall flat. And like, how do you tackle that, Squid? Like, especially on social media, where I find it difficult. Like, I'm scared to be like subtle onto it. Like, I'm scared to do like a joke, like if I tweeted I'm doing Let's Cress, for example, there'd be a good amount of people that won't get the joke, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would feel scared to tweet that. Like, is that something that you think about?
No, I just tweet what I think, really. Because as a person, I'm quite trolley, and I'm quite, I don't know, like, you'll know, like, I'll say stuff on Twitter, and I don't know, it will be really... I think it's funny. I just tweet what I think's funny. And I think if people know you as a person, then they'll understand your humour. But if you're just like a new kid on the scene and you're trying to be funny, like, oh, look at me, I'm just kind of showing off, then people won't find it funny if they don't know you, if you get me. So I think you'll be fine. I think, sort of. I think in YouTube, if you do it, it'll be fine. But I don't know. You rarely post things on Twitter. You're kind of like you use Twitter as business kind of thing, don't you, really? Like promoting your videos, talking about what you're doing and stuff like that. Whereas, I might post rubbish, if you know what I mean.
I don't think it's that I use it as... So I'm, like, quite private, I think, compared to you. Like, yeah. I don't, like, for example, like, Facebook as well. Like, I don't use Facebook for, like... I don't talk... I mean, I use it to message friends, but I don't ever post on, like, my personal Facebook wall. And, like, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't have a Twitter. Like, I'm not going to tweet about what I had for lunch. Like, so I don't... I guess it's not really a business thing. I guess it's a YouTube. It's a way to talk to fans, which I wouldn't have otherwise. So that's what it is. But like the reason I'm like that is because I've had loads of times in the past when I've tried to be funny. Maybe I'm just not funny. Maybe that's the real problem here. Like, where I've tried to do a joke, and I think when you're speaking, they can hear the tone of your voice, and I think it's easier. But like, okay, here's an example. So I was in Toys R Us with Squishy. Mm-hmm. And there was the little, the little toy cars, that like little electric cars that you can drive around.
Yeah.
You know them things? So we were looking at them. No, the ones you actually sit in.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Those little ones. The little like the little like mini Ferraris and stuff that you can drive around the garden in.
Could Stampy please remove the shadow from the toy cars? Thank you. Like you get called out and like taken out by security.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
like
the
little,
about, yeah.
The little like pedal cars thing. Yeah, so Squishy looked at them, okay, and then she said that these are really cool. I wish they made like like adult versions, like versions for grown-ups,
Like a car.
and which I just found hilarious because I was just like, yeah, they're called cars, you know, like it happened the other, like the cars came first and then they made a version for kids. So I just found that hilarious.
Yeah.
And then so I tweeted out a picture of her sitting in one of those little cars and just a quote from Squishy saying like, oh, like what she said, oh, these are cool, I wish they made an adult version. But then the majority of people replied to that tweet saying, "Oh yeah, that would be really cool if they made bigger ones." You know, like they did get the joke. So like that like, and that's like one moment, but it's happened loads of times. And I'm sure.
Did you put
I'm sure the majority
a smiley face or a laughing face?
Well, no, because I think that ruins the subtlety of it. And I'm sure the majority of people looked at it, got the joke, giggled, and clicked away. But the majority of the comments were really, oh yeah, that would be cool. So it's things like that. So when you're making videos, when you're making the video or planning the video or during the video, like, are you thinking about who's watching it and kind of basing what you do and say on that, or do you kind of just go for it, I guess?
I don't. No, not really. I think for me, it's always been me. Unless like a character, and then because that's like when I started, like people enjoyed me with face cam more than me without, because I'm a lot more, I don't know, I have a lot more facial expression. So then I thought, you know, people actually just want to see me playing instead of, you know, the Squid character. But the Squid character is still a thing, but it's just me, if you know what I mean. Whereas a lot of people fit into their character and base, you know, they're a lot different from their character in person, which is nothing wrong with that. But I think for me, people like me for who I am rather than, you know, like me for being the Squid guy.
But what are you basing? So are you basing that on you got more views when you got face cam, or you saw people
just
commenting
comments,
saying
really,
they
just
want
saying,
face cam?
like they like it more, and it's more personal. Like I kind of get it. Like if you, I don't agree with if you're doing something where it doesn't add to it, then you don't really need it. Like, you know, if there's no reactions. So like now, say if we had face cams to this, it'd be pointless because we're just talking, we're not really concentrating, there's nothing going on, we're not really reacting to anything because it's not about that, it's about the voice, so it wouldn't add anything. But I guess in a video where things are going on, things are happening, and you want to try and be entertaining, then I reckon it works. You know, you're trying to entertain people, and I think if you can add another level to it, then why not? Like, people want to see you scream and flinch and stuff like that. So
You really switched like the question I asked you. I was like, do you base like your videos on what people want? Then you're like, well, the problem with face cam is you use Facebook as an example, and then your conversation turned just to face cam. Well, let's talk about face cam then, because this is like, for me, because I've been battling like with myself about whether to do face cam or not, because, you know, this is a good example for where, you know, like everyone is asking me for face cam.
So
and this is where
make you think that they want it.
Well, no, but it is, but like, so this is kind of what my first question was about, is sometimes,
Yeah.
okay, I feel like we know best. And that's going to sound bad, but like, in terms of like, so if you always do what people ask for, because then you'll kind of end up doing like almost like the same thing every time, because people aren't going to ask for a thing that they haven't like thought of yet, which sounds obvious, but like if I said, what type of video would you like me to do, people are going to look at either videos I've done before or videos they've seen before and ask that. You know, they're not going to suggest a brand new original thing, you know, because they've not seen it yet, you know, if that makes sense. So like, it's kind of, do you kind of do what just people ask for, or do you kind of just try and be like, I don't know, just kind of do what you think is best? I guess that's kind of the point I was trying to make with the question. Like, if you're sitting down, you know, and this is a conversation we've had plenty of times, and you're like, right, I want to make a new series. You know, what should I do? Like, are you just thinking about what series you want to do, or are you thinking, oh, what would people want to see? Well, the thing with face cams.
Oh man, no, I mean, I don't know. Like, I do what I want to do, pretty much. I mean, the thing like pick someone that we did, that's what the fans wanted, so we did it, and that was really, everyone was really happy with that. But sometimes you've done everything that people want you to do, especially in the Minecraft sort of thing. So you have to kind of invent new ways to do, entertaining videos. So, and I guess that works for you as well. Like, people ask you to make the same minigame every week. That's where you have to spend ages thinking of minigames, planning it. And then people watch it and they go, oh, I didn't think of that. And then, that's, you know what I mean? So I think it's good to do what people want. But, you've got to be original at the same time. So yeah, I kind of think it works for Minecraft with being original and stuff like that. But I think it's good to have a bit of, variation. Like, would you ever think about doing like games that people just want you to play, like a channel for just people just suggesting games? Would you ever do that? Or would you just want to stick to what you know?
But like like I don't think that would need to be a new channel. Like a lot of the games that I play are things that people suggested, but like I wouldn't play it just because someone suggested. I'd look at it and think, would that make a good video? I just feel like for myself, like I think especially now we've been doing YouTube for so long. Like if I wasn't trying to do things new, and like this is weird because I keep saying like, oh, I keep trying to do things new and stuff, but like I'm probably one of the people that have had like the longest running series, forever. So if I see like I'm doing it the same, but I always try and make it so that in those series, like I'm always doing something new, or Lovely World is obviously the best example of that, where it's all about creation and like ideas. I know a lot of people say it's kind of too much building and not enough adventuring and stuff, but that is really like it's my creative outlet. It's my way to look at the game that I've been playing for so long and think, right, what is something that I can do which either I've never done before or like I've never seen done, and that's kind of something that I feel like I need to do, because otherwise I would just get kind of so bored of Minecraft and YouTube, I guess.
Yeah. Do you ever get bored of the Lovely World? Do you ever think like, I fancy just doing something different? Oh, I wish I was doing something different type of thing.
I don't get bored, but like I feel like there's like baggage with the Lovely World. I feel like because it's gone on for so long and there's so many like stories told in it, and I've built so much, and like a lot of the older stuff that I've built, I feel like isn't as good as the newer stuff. And like there's some old videos of it, like for when I started Lovely World, like I wasn't child friendly at that point. I didn't realize that children were going to be watching, and it might seem silly now, but I was literally making videos because I enjoyed the process of recording videos. So, in the older videos, there's curse words and swearing and stuff like that. And so there's things like that which makes me not like Lovely World, I think, as much as I could have, because I feel like it's, I don't think it's always been, I think, as good as it is now, or like as okay as it is now. So for that reason, I feel like maybe starting fresh would be nice, but I just feel like I could, because it's been going on for so long, I just feel like I couldn't. I feel like it would be, to say goodbye to my Lovely World is going to be like one of the hardest things I do. It's not happening soon. Like I'm not planning to, but like when it, at some point in life, I am not going to be recording Lovely World episodes, and that's going to be, I don't know, like it's like an old friend, that world.
Yeah, if you've been in it so long, I guess there's a lot of memories. Do you think like, do you ever worry about people like watching your Lovely World and thinking, oh, so much has happened, like, when like, a series has been going on for a long time and you basically watch like halfway through and you think, oh, I've missed so much, maybe I should go back and watch all the old episodes. Do you think people get scared by the fact that they've missed so much, and they're like, like if they haven't seen, if they're a new subscriber and they're just watching Lovely World, do you think they're going to be scared at like carry on watching it?
I like the use of the word scared, but I can't do it. No, like, yeah, I think definitely, and I think especially with the way YouTube's changed from when I started, at least. So I think that, I used to always say that it's good to do like just strategically on YouTube. I used to think it's good to do longer series, and the reason for that is I would say that say if you're on episode like 50 of a series and people find an episode and they watch that episode and enjoy it, there's a good chance they might go back and watch all of the other episodes, and I feel like that kind of works good. And if it's a continuous series, then people are going to want to come back and see the next one. But if you're doing lots of one-off videos, like they might not, they might watch that one and kind of leave. So that's the way I used to think. But I think YouTube's changed now, and the way videos are shared and the way that they kind of come up in people's sub boxes, I think having wild one-off videos is a better strategy for YouTube. So I think the fact that most of my series are so long is bad, and I think I'm probably not getting as many views as I could as if I did kind of lots of shorter one-off videos. And I think that's just the way YouTube has changed.
Yeah.
I kind of talk about it a bit in my Did you see the Let's Talk I did on how to get more subscribers or how to get more views? I think. So I kind of talk about it a little bit in that, about how the way to get views now is very different, and there's lots of like obvious strategies that you can employ to get views, and I think people. I think most YouTubers kind of use at least some of those strategies, and I think there's a way to do it in a good way and a way to do it in a bad way, and it's just kind of trying to strike the right balance, so you're being genuine and honest with your viewers and to your other YouTubers. I guess there's strategies you can use. I don't know, and you feel like it feels like if you don't use them, then you're gonna fall behind. So you kind of almost feel forced to, if that makes sense.
I mean, I don't know if it's even about that anymore. Like, I mean, like now, when we started, it was all about getting, noticed, getting big, getting views, getting subscribers. And then like once you've been on YouTube for a long period of time, you kind of want to stay relevant still, but you kind of, well, for me anyway, you kind of, as long as you're enjoying what you're actually putting on your channel and you think works, I'm not really too bothered whether it gets as many views as it used to, or I'm not really chasing the whole I need to get big, I need to do all this. It's kind of more relaxed, if you know what I mean. I think you get to a point where you just kind of mellow out and you're like, if I'm making content I'm happy with and it's going steady and everything's going fine, then why should you worry? If you're happy with it, then I just think there's a certain cringy part of YouTube where people that were big basically that are not big anymore with the views, and they try so hard to be funny, spam tags, do all this, and it's really cringy. And I think that's I don't want to become that. I don't want to become the guy that if things are going like badly downhill, I don't want to like twist every YouTube rule just to try and get back to where I was and stuff like that. I don't want to become that guy. I want to do it gracefully.
No, I 100% agree, and I think that's a very healthy way to look at YouTube, because I think if you're checking the stats every day and you're thinking like, oh, this kind of thumbnail works, like if I do more of that, and if I mention this word, and I should do something, what's that new film coming out, I should do something about that new film because people are searching for it. Like I think if you're doing YouTube in that way, I think I would hate it, like especially if you're doing daily videos like that sounds like proper like work. And the way we do YouTube, like it is our jobs, but it's not proper work. And I feel like, the problem is people can look at us and what we're saying, and they can say, well, it's all right for you, you've already built this audience, and like even if you do start going down in views, it will be a gradual decline, like, and there's so many people making videos now, it's hard to get noticed. And so there's people saying that, and I think it is true, it is hard to get noticed now, but even though there are more people making videos, there's a lot more people watching videos. The market of people watching videos has grown. And I think when a lot of people talk about the competition on YouTube, I think there's a sense of like, oh, well, if you're watching this person's videos, you're not watching mine, rather than them saying like, well, they can just watch both. Like they're just going to spend more time on YouTube. If there's a video that you make and someone really wants to watch it, they're not going to not watch it just because they watch someone else's video. So I feel like the competition isn't as bad as people think on YouTube.
I think as well is that if you've grown a channel on loyal subscribers rather than, I'll make one funny video and people might subscribe. I think it's better to have a channel basically doing the content that you're going to do for a while rather than just trying to get views quick. Because when it does start to go downhill, they will go downhill gradually rather than, oh, it's changed this, everyone's just going to go at once type of thing. You want to kind of keep them loyal subscribers. So yeah, I guess that's a kind of like a good tip, isn't it? For anyone that's watching.
There's a bit of a tip for you.
I'm going to write that in my book. I'm going to make a YouTube
There we go.
book.
Here's the new segment for the podcast. Then I knew it'd come up. Squiddy's tips.
Squiddy's tip of the day.
Right, here's a challenge. Right, I'm gonna okay. Squiddy's tips. Okay. It's just funny saying Squiddy's tips. So Squiddy's tips.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say a subject. Okay. And then you need to give me
a tip.
A tip on that subject.
You're welcome. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so you need to give me a tip on looking after a pet pig.
Looking after a pet pig. Well, if you're gonna think about getting a pig, the one thing that you need to have is a lot of land. Okay, and I'm not talking about grandma's pristine garden. Okay, I'm talking about a bit of land which you don't care about getting muddy and slodgy and slippy, because the pig's gonna slide around and it loves mud. So my first tip would be that you have to get a garden that you don't care about wrecking. Okay, number one tip for getting a pig: get a rubbish garden. Okay, the more terrible the better. The second tip is don't get attached to the pig, because one day you're going to eat it.
Oh, I said pet pig. I didn't say like... That's... Alright, well, Squiddy tips, carry on.
And the third and final tip for the Squiddy tip for keeping a pet pig would be make sure that you bring your pig in winter, because you don't want any frozen pork chops. So make sure you give it some blankets, take it inside, plonk it in front of the telly for a couple months, and he'll love you forevermore. He'll be very happy, chilled out in his little nightie, in his little dressing gown. So yeah, there's Squiddy's 3 tips. Tip of the day.
They seem more like cooking tips. It was all about like I started talking about a pet pig, and you're like, well, make sure you massage the pig to make the meat tender. You know, you're like, what? That's all you cared about.
Good tip.
Can I give my pig? I'll give my piggy tips. Okay, here's Stampy's tips, and then you can give me another topic to give tips about that I won't know anything about. Okay, my suggestion is, have you seen the tiny pigs?
That's a question. That's not a suggestion.
But no, but my how much I explain is going to be based on your answer. Have you seen like the little tiny pigs?
So it's another Squiddy tip.
Well, no,
the micro pigs.
The micro pigs, they're the ones. Have you seen them? Well, you must have. You know them.
Yeah, I've seen.
They are adorable. So these are like little tiny pigs. Yeah, that you can have you have them in your house, and they're like. You know, they're like, the little dogs that people put in like their purses. Yeah, like it's like them, but it's like a little tiny pig.
They're like rodents.
I know. I'm talking about pigs here. But I'm just doing that as a reference for size. Okay, so they're like that big, and like the thing is, they look cute and they run around. They kind of look a bit clumsy, but they make really weird noises. Like as they run around, they're like. Kind of pig noises, I guess, but like little baby pig noises. So my suggestion for getting a pet pig is don't worry about your garden. Get one of them, It can sleep in your bed with you. Like it'll run around the house, put it in your handbag.
It's still poo and wee everywhere. Like, just because it's cute doesn't mean nothing comes out of its bowels.
Well...
Yeah.
Well... you can
wake up in the morning with pig wee and pig poo all over you nice.
I'm sure you can train it where to poo, because pigs...
We brought our chickens inside for an hour and they all over the bathroom.
Yeah, but like, it's different because pigs are smarter.
The farm animal stamps.
That's only, we've decided, animals are just animals. We've decided, I'm going to put this one on a farm and this one in the house. Like that's not natural. Pigs, if you let me finish, Squid, are smarter than dogs.
But the dogs wee in the house and poop in the house if you don't let them out. Like cats, the only reason why cats do it is because when they wee or poo, number one, they like to do it in a secret place. This is why they use litter trays. Number two, in the wild, they basically do it in the ground and then push dirt over to hide the smell because they don't want like predators basically seeking out where they are. So that's why they hide it. That's why they do it in the litter tray, so they can kick all the litter out. And yeah, pigs just wouldn't do that because they don't have that function built into them. With cats, it's built in. Like, it's in their genetics. They know how to conceal and hide their poop smell. And that's why they do it in litter trays. So...
Okay, well, shall we talk about pets a bit? Because
Okay.
you're
I'm a pet guy.
Do you want to list off your pets?
Yeah, okay, so I got 2 doggies. One's a beagle called Lily, one's a black Labrador called Marley, one's nearly 2, one's about 1.5. Got 2 cats, a British short hair called Church, and I think it's a ragdoll called Ollie. We got Ollie from a rescue centre because he was from a home where unfortunately kids abused him, so that's why he's quite timid, so we rescued him from there. Nicole has a variety of different species tarantulas, which keeps escaping. So, yeah, there's them. We used to have a snake. We used to have a blood python, but that died. And now we have 3 chickens. We used to have 2. These used to be called Ginger and Babs. One got eaten, and then we replaced it with 2 others. There's a white one, which is called Gandalf the White, which I named him that. And then we've got a grey one, which is called Roxy. And they're the pets so far. When I'm moving into the offices, we're getting another cat, which I probably haven't told you about. But he's going to just live at the offices. He's not going to come home. He's going to live there permanently. So he's going to be like a work cat. And he's going to be called Office Cat. That's his name. We're going to get him a little coat.
Office? You can't call a cat Office.
No, we are. We're going to call him Office Cat. That's his name.
You can't call it Office. That's
Why?
like... It's like labelling where they live. It's like calling
No,
England.
but like if we go to the vets, she'll go, what's his name? And we go, OC. And they won't ask anything else. Office Cat.
You can't call a cat Office. You can't. I think it's inhumane to call something after where it lives.
He's gonna have. Look, we've planned it out. Okay, we're gonna get him a little waistcoat and like a little pocket pen to go in his waistcoat. Okay, we're gonna get him a desk and we're gonna get him like.
Are you hired? Is it an employee? Is this your
Yeah, we
receptionist?
can employ him. Yeah. And we're gonna have get like a Polaroid camera, and we're gonna take a picture of him every month and frame it, and have the employee of the month and put Office Cat on it.
That does sound quite funny, actually. Are you scared of getting confused between them? Like, is that why you're naming it Office? Just in case you forget which one it is? Is that what it is?
No, I just find it very amusing that like people are gonna come over and he's gonna be called Office Cat. I don't know. I just get joy in that. That's just funny.
It's pretty funny. Okay, why so many pets? Well, why do you like pets so much, or animals? I guess
they just feel homely. Like I grew up with my mum bought a dog when I was like 3 or something. So I've always had like pets, and it lived till it was like 14. So I was like 18 when it died. So it was like my best friend growing up. It was like the best. I don't know. Like I reckon dogs like the best. Dogs or cats. So I've always been around like pets when I've grown up. And when Flynn died, that was his name. I was like, oh, can we get another one? Because obviously there was a big hole there. It felt quite empty in the house. And I was like, can we get another one? My mum was like, no, straight up, no. She was like traumatized with the whole situation of a pet dying, which it is, like, but it's a part of life. The good memories, outbalance the bad memories, which is the pet dying. But yeah, she wouldn't have another one. And then as soon as I got my own place, I was right, I'm going to get my favourite breed of dog, which I'm going to start
a zoo.
Which was the beagle. That was my favourite breed. I always wanted a beagle because they were just, I don't know, I really loved them big ears and stuff like that. And yeah, so we got a dog, which was Lily, and then I met Nicole and she had Ollie. And then obviously we moved in, and then Lily was getting a bit bored. She wanted like a playmate, which dogs do. Dogs like to, they're social animals because they're normally in packs. So we got Marley, and then they got along. And then Nicole's favourite cat was the British Shorthair, which I bought her for her birthday. And then it just kind of went downhill from there. Then we just like, we watched Chicken Run, and then the next day we were like, should we get chickens? I kind of like chickens. So we just got chickens. Oh, man. But yeah. I don't know. I love pets. I guess you're ever a pet person or you're not. I mean, you've got a cat, haven't you? I know. Like I've known you for a long time. And I know you were always the guy that was like, I don't really like pets. I think you like the idea of them, but you didn't like them being in your house, type of thing.
No. So this is the thing. Okay, so with me, like, so I said I didn't want a pet yet because the problem with me is because I travel quite a lot, like. Like
You're in
and
America
often
a lot and meetings and stuff.
Yeah, so and often very short note. Like last time I went to the US, I didn't know what day I was leaving until 2 days before I left. Okay, and so I didn't want to be a bad pet owner. Like I knew at some so I really wanted a dog at some point, but I just know I couldn't. Dogs are I would walking it like twice a day. It's just too much. Like, I don't have the time for a dog. And I feel like if I was going to get a dog, like, I'm going to be a good dog owner. And so we already had a hamster, which was Squishy's hamster. And then she wanted a cat. And I was like, I don't want to get a cat because I don't have to, like, leave it by itself. And she kept saying they look after each other. And so in the end, we settled on getting a fish and calling it Cat. Well, at first we called it Kitty. Then we said when it grows up, we're going to call it Cat. So instead we had a fish was the compromise. But then we kind of... It was such a spur of the moment thing. Like she was talking about a cat, and then she was looking up like them online on like local ones on her phone. And then she just showed this one, and she was like, "Look how adorable she is." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but like, now's not the right time. I don't know if we should get one yet." And then she was like, "Oh, if we got a cat, what would we call it?" And then we came up with the name Ori as like the name. And then eventually, I don't know what happened. Eventually, came round to we were getting this cat. I never said it. I never. Then she kind of just started saying, "Oh, thank you. I'm so happy." And I was like, "Why? Like, what was happening?" And then we were driving down just to look at the cat. And I was like, no, we're only going to have a look, and then, we just basketed it up. And then the next day I was like, right, we have a cat now. And I am so happy. Like it's like my best friend now. Like she follows me around the house and like, we hang out together, we play. And like, I feel like because I didn't have pets growing up. So I feel like I kind of get it now.
Yeah. I think it is one of them things where if you're not a pet person, like if you go around to other people's houses, and you think, oh, yeah, it's not for me, then I still don't think that's enough. Like, because like you and other people that I've met, it changes when you get your own. It's completely different. You spend more time with them. They have their own personalities, and they become a family member. That's what pets are to people. They're not just a pet. They're actually part of your family because you spend so much time with them. They're always there in the house. You see them every day. For quite a while, you probably see Ori more than you do Squishy. You're working on that.
Ori just sits on me or
exactly.
around me. So,
I
guess
you do spend a vast majority of time with him.
Okay, is getting pets addictive? Because like, there's a lot of weird things that you don't expect to be addictive. Like, things like people like getting tattoos. Once they get one, they get loads. And a lot of people that once they get a couple pets, they just keep getting pets. And, like, for me, I always thought, like, if I had a cat or a dog, possibly 2 dogs if it, just for the company. But cats really don't need the company. So I'm like, I've got a cat. Like, I don't feel a need to have another one. But, you hear so many stories of, it's the traditional, like, the crazy cat lady who gets, like, 15 cats. Like, why do you think that? Why do you think people need to keep getting more? Like, seeing as you have, like, you're like, fine, like, because you keep getting, like, kind of, you got 2 cats, 2 dogs, but then you kind of have different animals. But why do you feel like after people have some, do they have to keep getting more and more and more?
Because I just think it's something that brings people joy and happiness, kind of thing. Like, I know a lot of people that get 2 cats together and they get dogs together because they want them to, to have someone, or not someone, something there, type of things. But with cats, you don't really need to have another cat. Like, cats are solitary. Like, our 2 cats, they do like the night and day shift. So, one will go outside, like when the other one's coming in, and they might not see each other for a couple of days. But that's the way they live. They're quite solitary cats. But I reckon if you're gonna get dogs, I don't know. It's dogs like to be in the pack animals. They like to be together. But I think it's the addiction of, I guess, having more there in your house. It's kind of weird to explain.
Just like a livelier household.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because like I find like, so if I had like, and I'm talking more about the extreme examples. I'm not talking about someone, who has like 3 cats or something. I'm talking about people that get loads. Like, I just feel like if I had like 7 cats, then I feel like getting 8 cats isn't going to make me feel any different. I feel like it's the benefit of like feeling the love and getting the attention and that. Like, I feel like at some point it's kind of lost a bit. You've kind of maxed out. I guess. Like, I don't understand why people get so mad. And I'm sure there's people watching this who have lots of. I know there's lots of people. The people that list stuff. I have 3 parrots, 4 hamsters, a guinea pig. They have just loads and loads of pets. So if there is someone watching this who is or listening to this who is in that situation, like, let us know, like, why is it, why so much?
Yeah, I mean, well, watch out, there's a creeper, by the way. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest, but I think it's just one of them things where it's each to your own. Like, if you're happy with more, get more. If you're gonna look after them, then it's fair enough. I mean, as you say, if you've got the room for it in the house, then it does make a livelier household, and you never really have a dull day. You never really sit there bored because there's always something to entertain you. Oh man, but yeah, I think in the offices there's gonna be a lot, because I think Ash is on about getting a pug as well. So there's gonna be
office pug, office cat.
No, he's calling his pug Bilbo.
Sure, you're gonna have Gandalf and Bilbo. I see the trend.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I don't know, mate. I don't really know. I think it is just each to their own. So. But yeah, we are definitely a lover of pets. I think everywhere is, but I think Britain especially, they just love pets.
Yeah, I wonder why it is, and like different types of pets, like different. I mean, obviously, like in countries where there aren't as many of an animal, like it's unlikely we're not going to have pet pandas. That's just a thing. But like in different cultures, I think just in general, like just kind of moving away from pets a bit, but like. It's weird, Kate. This is something that I was talking about soon. So I went to America, and in America, it's almost impossible. Well, it's very difficult to get a good cup of tea. No matter where you go, like if you go to the hotel room and they don't have tea-making facilities, which I think should be a crime. I think people who run these places should go to jail if they don't have proper tea-making facilities. But in America, pretty much everyone we spoke to, like, they don't drink tea. Or if they do drink tea, it's like iced tea or like tea with sweet tea with honey in it and no milk. Like it's not tea the way we drink it. And I was thinking, like, physically, they're no different to me. Like, they're the same. Like, if they were born in England, they would probably like be obsessed with tea, kind of like we are. Like, it's so weird how, like if I grew up in America, I might be drinking coffee instead of tea. Like, isn't it weird? Like, even though physically I'm exactly the same, it's like it kind of changes what you like depending on where you grow up. Like, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. And actually, I'm not going to get into it, but I'm saying like it's the same thing with. Kind of like religion. Like, I don't want to get into it, but it's definitely where you are kind of like born into, like the countries and stuff like that. And it's a lot different to tea, but do you know what I mean?
Well, tea is my religion. That's
the tea god.
Oh, dear. No, I mean, it's the same with, like, you can say it, and you can say it in terms of like taste, fashion, in terms of like what you find, attractive, the music you enjoy to listen to. Like, it's. You can look to people's parents in terms of, people's personality and say, oh, you're like Auntie Dorothy, like that kind of thing. But it's really the way you grew up. And it's why, like people talk about, like, clones. Like, oh, if there was a clone of you, it would be exactly the same. It's like, no, it wouldn't. Like, unless it was born at the same time and had the exact same experience as you. Like, it would be completely different. Like, you really are shaped by your experience. And, like, because if someone's, like, okay, so say if someone's mean, okay, this is going to sound like a bit off topic, but if someone's mean, and you can see that they have, like, mean parents, a lot of people will go, like, you can't blame them too much. You can blame the parents, blame the way they were brought up. That is why they're mean. But then, of course, the parents might have been mean of them as well. And so it's kind of like, in a way, we aren't really that much in control, because the only way I am how I am is because that's, the way I was brought up. So I feel like I am generally a good person. I think I have good morals, and like I think I'm generally, like I mean good on people and stuff. And so I can think, oh, I'm good. And then if I see someone being mean, or like, committing a crime or doing whatever, I can say, oh, that's a bad person. But, they're only who they are from how they brought up. They had no control over it. So, like, at what point are people, like, accountable for what they do? It's strange, isn't it, if you really think about it?
Excuse me. I don't think... But as I said, I think it's a lot to do with how your parents bring you up. But after that, it's a lot to do with who your friends are and if you fall into the right group of people or not. So, yeah, I don't think you can blame your parents too much. I think it's a lot to do with, like... I don't know. Kind of like your teenage... I'd say, like, your teenage years was what shapes you, really. Like the whole social side of things. I think that's quite important as well.
But like what I'm saying is, so say if, okay, for example, let's use Johnny. Okay, Johnny robbed a bank. Naughty Johnny. Okay, He went to the bank, and he held it up and he said, right, give me all the money in the bank. And then he got caught and he went to jail and he's going to be spending 25 years in jail. Okay, but the only reason he robbed that bank is because he's from a long line of bank robbers, okay? And he grew up and his parents went out robbing banks every day and all of his friends robbed banks and that's all he saw and, that's the way they made money and he didn't know any different, and, he didn't know there was, like, other ways, to be good and stuff and he was never taught right from wrong, so he was kind of, I guess, ignorant to what he should do. And so, like, if you think about it in that way, like, do you kind of put less blame on him or do you think he still did wrong, it doesn't make any difference the reason he did it?
I don't know, it's a bit of a weird conversation isn't it?
We were talking about Crest before, weren't we?
Now I'm talking about Johnny in jail. What's going on?
Oh, sounds crazy. Like a TV show. Johnny in jail. Johnny in jail.
They sure laugh when Johnny
He tried to be good, but he always failed. I don't know. It didn't quite work. I lost it a bit there, but you get the idea.
Bad Johnny. That's all I'm going to say. He's a bad boy. Okay? Johnny's bad. That's all we need to say on the matter stamps.
Right. Well, what I think we need next then. Let's to make a quick U-turn in the conversation before everyone clicks off. I want Squiddy secrets, Squid. I want you, okay, to tell me something that you've never said, like, in videos or or publicly before. Like, a secret about, like, something funny that happened, in a video that people didn't know about, or just something, maybe something from your childhood, maybe, if you want. Like, what's something that people have never heard before about you?
Oh, man. Something that people... I don't really know. I'm quite open, to be honest.
Like, it doesn't have to be like... It's not like something that you've been kept hidden. Like, just something that you've never said before. I know I've really put you on the spot here. Like,
I know. Like, we went from Johnny in jail to this. This is crazy.
Tell me your secrets. Come on, open it up. Reveal all.
Well, I don't really... I know we say against it. I'm going to revert back to the YouTube thing here. And I know I hate people that do it. I hate people that, like, comment and say, come and watch my channel. Oh, I'm nearly on 2,000 subscribers. And stuff like that. Like, I hate people that do it. I hate people that spam. But, to be honest, I used to do it when I was starting off.
What? I was that guy. You were one of them.
I was one of them.
I might have blocked you if I saw you back then.
I can remember... Okay, hand on my heart. I can remember commenting on, like, PewDiePie's video. I can remember commenting on, like, the Yogscast. I can remember commenting on, like, Skyder's Minecraft and just saying, hey guys, I'm a new YouTuber. Fancy checking me out. I can remember doing that. I can literally remember. And this is when I had, like, 100 subscribers or whatever. It was, like, literally just... I don't even think I met you yet. But I was, like... I used to do that quite a lot. So
that is amazing. I can't believe you were one of them.
I know.
And that was probably in a time where it didn't like happen so much either. Like I feel like now that's what half the comments are fake channels trying to scam people or people just advertising themselves. Like So how did you do it? What was your line? Because no one anymore says please subscribe to my channel. They always say like hey, like, I know people don't normally like this, but I'm like, it's hard to get started in YouTube, so maybe check me out. You might enjoy. They always try and sound really friendly and casual to hide the fact that they're trying to sponge
I think I was
off
just
someone
like,
else's
hi,
video.
I'm a new YouTuber. I do this. I do like tutorials or whatever. I used to put like, obviously I was just doing Minecraft, so I used to like, just basically focus on Minecraft videos. I don't know what I was doing on PewDiePie's channel, but I used to just say like, hey, come check me out. I do this stuff, and then I used to just like spam people, like every new video. I used to be there just saying it, but it worked. I got some subscribers. I grew, and then
Don't say
I'm
that,
not proud of
'cause
it
then
though.
people are gonna do it more. Don't say,
It's not gonna
say
stop
didn't
people doing
work.
it.
Well, say, I mean, this is the thing, and this is something that I discussed in my Let's Talk again, the one I mentioned earlier. So, okay, so I saying that it can work. You might get some more people checking out your channel, but at the end of it, like, if you're not making the videos that they want to see, it's not going to make any difference. Like, they might click on a video, they might watch it. If they don't like it and think, I want to watch another video, it doesn't make any difference, really, in the long term. So I always just say that, no matter how you're trying to get people to watch your videos, your focus has to be on the videos themselves, because otherwise it's all pointless. You might come up with the best channel trailer, you might have the best way to advertise, you might collaborate with all of the biggest YouTubers to get people to check out your videos. If you're not making the videos they want to see, it's all pointless. So that has to be like, that's focus number one, that's priority, and then I think everything else kind of comes after that.
I mean, it's the same thing. Like, you need to make sure. I know it probably never happened, but if you're a new YouTuber and if you do stuff with, like other big YouTubers, like you said, then you have to be ready for it as well. Because if someone throws you like loads of attention and you're not ready for it, then that's just like, I don't know, it's kind of a waste, isn't it? You gotta be like,
if you've started making videos and like and you haven't got a history in creating like video content, then your videos like probably won't be great. Like they won't. And I'm not saying they're going to be like you're going to make bad videos, but they won't be the best videos you could make. You're only going to get, hopefully only going to get better. So trying to really self-advertise your channel, when you've just started, isn't a good idea, because you're going to create a first impression from everyone that sees those videos. And if those videos aren't as good as they could possibly be, you're just going to give people a bad first impression, and they might not give you a chance, down the line, once your videos have got better. So really, make videos, focus on the videos. That's the part. If you're a YouTuber, that's what you're doing, the videos. That's what matters. And it sounds obvious to say the videos is what matters, but I feel like for a lot of people, that's not what people focus on anymore.
I mean, there's so much to be said for first impressions. Like, even like now, like even though you've done it for such a long time, you still got to be, focused. You still got to like put, like 100% in, because if there's new subscribers, then that's still their first impression. If you make a rubbish video, people are going to be like, oh, the rest of his videos are probably going to be this. So.
And so that's something that I'm really thinking about now. Now I'm starting my new venture with Cress. I'm very conscious about, because I'm starting this new channel kind of from scratch. I need my first Cress video, to be a winner. I need to bring out my A game, with my first Cress videos. You need to go out there all
guns blazing, Stamps. You need to...
All Cress growing.
Yeah, exactly. You need to come up with some crazy Cress montage to try and win people's hearts. You need to have the crest already grown. You need to like do a time lapse and then do like epic music and be like, today on the start of this YouTube channel, Stampy's crest will grow. And then epic music comes in and then it cuts to like the time lapse and it's growing really quickly. And then
I feel like I need like a more gradual build up.
Oh, yeah,
I want to build up some
suspense.
Like, like, will it blend? I want to do like, will it grow? Like with Cress. Like put it. I could put it like Cress in weird situations. Like, it can grow from cotton wool. Can it grow from toilet paper? Who's answering those questions?
Are you writing this down?
Well, let me get I got my pen.
Okay, so you need to write down for a Cress episode is, what music genre do the Cress best grow in? So you need to play like rock music to some Cress, rap music to some Cress. You need to play like different types, like classical, and then see which one likes it better.
Well, did you know that there is actually some truth to that?
Yeah, I know there is.
It was on MythBusters. So it doesn't necessarily matter what the music is. It's something to do with the vibrations. I can't really remember what the outcome was, but there was something to do with playing music or like sound, I guess, just vibrations. It affects the crest. So yeah, it grows. So that's something I think if I talk to it, if I do motivational speaking to the crest. Why do we keep talking about crest again?
It always comes back to crest.
Like, it's not even me. Like, it's more you than me. I feel.
Sorry, I got a problem.
Are you a little bit worried that you've missed the crest boat here? That I've
the crest boat is sailing away.
I've put my flag down in the crest field. And are you feeling like you're upset because we didn't partner up with Let's Crest? Like, what is your feeling?
I'm fine, mate. I mean, honestly, I'm good. I'm I'll support you 110% of the way, Stamps, but I'll leave it to you. Yeah, I'm just gonna I'll take a back seat on this one. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I've got enough.
Anyway,
I've got the second channel as well. That's my like therapeutic. I play crazy games on that, so I'm happy. You keep your crest stuff.
Okay. I'll keep that up. Anyway, since we're talking about crest again, I think this is probably going to be a nice time to wrap up this first podcast. So we were talking earlier about us responding to what people want and feedback. So this is really a case where we're making it for the fun of doing it, but we really want this to be something for you. So please do let us know how much have you enjoyed this podcast, and kind of what topics would you like us to talk about? Would you like us to talk about kind of the similar things we're talking about? Do you think we got too serious? Would you like to see us more silly? Really let us know. And if you do have any suggestions for any features or any particular things, I'm thinking about starting up a podcast, Magic Animal Club podcast Facebook page, where you can kind of post questions or just things for us to talk about on the wall on that.
Yeah,
and then we can just kind of bring it up in episode and kind of talk about, things that you would like our opinion on, or just things you want to hear us, rant on about and joke around about.
Yeah, if there's any sections you want us to keep in, like the Squiddy tips.
I think that could be our first feature. I think Squiddy and Stampy tips, where we have to give tips on something that we actually I didn't. Did I give tips on anything? You didn't.
Well,
give me a topic,
you started
did you?
to ask me questions about the tips. You went, "Here's Stampy's tips," and then you went, "Squid, do you know micro pigs?" I was like, here we go. That was the...
No, but that was about your talk. You got to give me one. So we're going to end on this. Stampy's tips. Give me a topic, and I'm going to have to give you tips.
You've got to give me tips on lipstick.
Okay. So the problem with lipstick, or the way some people use lipsticks, is they just do too much. Okay. You don't want to look like a clown, and I think this goes for makeup in general. You want it to look, and kind of as natural, as possible. And so if you're putting on like real bright red lipstick, that's gonna then become the focal point of your face, because when someone looks at a face, they look first to the eyes and then to the mouth. That's like the point. There's like a triangle. Kind of imagine like a triangle from your eyes to your mouth. That is like your most important area, and that's what people look at when they're talking to you. So if you have like a really bright color lipstick, or like a non-natural color lipstick, like purple lipstick or blue lipstick, then that is going to be really the focal point of your face. And so that is okay, but you got to make sure that the rest of your makeup is kind of bearing that in mind. So if you have a really vivid bright color lipstick, you want to make sure that you don't have really standout eyeshadow as well, because it becomes too much. So there is kind of a look that people like maybe like make your face slightly paler with some nice foundation, and then have really bright red lipstick, which kind of makes your lips stand out, which I think looks good. But you kind of can't have a bright vivid lipstick as well as a lot of other makeup. And so if you're kind of have just a more natural looking lipstick, then there's kind of more things you can do with the rest of your face, just to make yourself look good.
Brilliant. And on that concludes the first podcast.
That was pretty good, wasn't it? That was pretty good.
I feel like you do it a lot. You put makeup on a lot. You're
Oh
natural.
no, I can't. Like, I'm weird with eyes. Anything getting close to my eyes at all, I freak out. And so, like, whenever that I've had to do makeup for various things, and don't you laugh because you've had to do it as well on my channel. So yeah, then I can't stand it. And anything on my face, like even like what's it called? Like face paints. I can't, like, anything like it just makes me want to rub it off. I hate it. So I'm not a makeup lover.
Nah.
But anyway, we're going to end up chatting for another half an hour here. So yeah, that's the end of the first episode. Make sure you do leave your feedback down below. Hopefully you enjoyed it. There's no schedule for these. Like, eventually I think we might work out a schedule. It'd be good to do one a week, but I don't think we're ready to commit to that now. So yeah, just keep an eye out on the channel or wherever you're listening to this from. Yeah, just to see when the new ones are going to be coming out.
Yeah, so thank you for joining. I hope you did enjoy. I think we'll leave the Facebook page in the description soon. So yeah, make sure you look out for that, and we'll be posting stuff on there to keep you updated. But yeah, thanks for joining the first podcast, guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.